I genuinely don't think anyone has had a more tragic life than Spider-Man. Can you imagine waking up every day, no bread, you're eating tuna out the can, your girl has cheated on you for the 5th time this week, and your chud-ass boss is still hounding you talking about the Spider Menace?
Could you pay me in advance?
And this isn't even including the fact that your uncle genuinely got 200 pumped and your aunt is old. Also, your friend turned into a scary goop monster. How hasn't Spider-Man killed himself? I'm not a big fan of Marvel outside of Doctor Doom and the X-Men, but Spider-Man is probably in my top 5 favorite superheroes. This guy works his ass off to help people, has sick powers, is insanely smart, and best of all, he's relatable. Cause I too am broke and get no girls.
$100. The ad said 3,000.
It said 3 grand. For 3 minutes, and you pinned them in 2. For that, I give you 100, and you're lucky to get that.
Spider-Man has fought a lot of terrifying villains, the Green Goblin, Doc Ock, but no villains have been as terrifying or as lethal as the writers. Seriously, these guys genuinely hate Spider-Man. He's broke constantly, zero play constantly, literally the only good thing that happens in his life is... And despite all that, he still refuses to give up on his heroism. Spider-Man reminds me a lot of Kuma in the respect that both of their lives are just horrible, and yet they still refuse to give in to hatred. They choose to use all the horrible things that have happened to them as fuel to help people. Peter never chose to be Spider-Man. It just happened to him. And despite that random act of chance, he still chose to take the responsibility that was put on him. As a teenager, this dude was literally breaking his body apart trying to help people, unlike dork-ass Invincible, who was gonna leave his mom and brother to the wolves because Eve had a headache.
Oliver's out there. Your mother is out there. I said no!
My fire.
Hey, but what can you expect? There's really just levels to this shit. Some people are about it, and some aren't. Spider-Man is one of the few superheroes that I can see and feel relatability towards. Like, despite having superpowers, I see this guy and I think, this is me. Batman is sick, but let's keep it a buck. I'm probably never touching $1 billion. Superman is dope too, but he's too strong to be relatable. Spider-Man, despite having powers, is low-key the most normal guy ever. He's got money problems, he's got girl problems, his boss is a dickhead, he had to wrestle Bonesaw.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Seriously, I feel like most people can see themselves at least slightly in Spider-Man's story. Spider-Man's relatability is what makes him such a dope superhero. It's one thing to be saved by a typical superhero, but it's another to be saved by the guy who feels pain and sadness and brokenness the same way we all do. One of the coolest parts of Spider-Man to me is the concept of great power, great responsibility. Because we see Spider-Man embody that on a regular basis. Like, realistically, if I'm getting jumped so often that my ops are literally calling themselves the Sinister Six, I'm probably not going to be super attached to this great responsibility thing. But not Spider-Man. He feels so strongly about Spider-Man being his responsibility that he literally just tries to save everybody. There are so many parts in Peter's story where he often has to come to terms with his position as a hero. In Spider-Man 2, he was caught between being Peter and being Spider-Man. In Spectacular Spider-Man, he thinks about taking the gene cleanser that would get rid of his powers. But no matter how many times he encounters this dilemma, the outcome is always the same. He always chooses to put the mask back on. And to be honest, he's a better man than me, because personally, if I took even one hit from Tombstone, I'm hanging it up.
Back off. I just took down the Rhino. A pale guy in a suit doesn't stand.
Despite him being one of my favorite superheroes, I don't actually know why Spider-Man is so attached to helping people. Like, I know Uncle Ben was telling him about great power and everything, like I know the story. It's just crazy how he refuses to ever give up on helping people. Spider-Man's willingness to help people is so strong that it even affects Spider-Man that aren't Peter. My goat Miles Morales was beefing with every Spider-Man in the Omniverse, and when Miguel was trying to stop him and calling him a mistake, Miles proved why he's a realer Spider-Man than any of them. Because Spider-Man helps people, even when the odds are stacked against him. He doesn't operate on a wavelength of necessary losses. He does whatever he can, however he can, to help as many people as possible. Not because he wants to, but because it's his responsibility to. Spider-Man, despite the random Tuesdays he's off the symbiote packs,
Run.
is the perfect representation of a superhero. But unfortunately, in order to be a superhero, every part of his life has to suck ass, and he makes that choice. I feel so bad reading or seeing Spider-Man stories because he always does so much for everybody, and literally nothing good happens to him in return. But if there's one thing I've learned from Spider-Man, no matter how many hits I take, how bruised I am, or how bloody I am, at the end of the day, MJ is still gonna cheat on me.
I lost some real partners in the process. I wish they were still here to see my progress.